Science said it couldn't be done. William Byron defeats long-run Ryan Blaney at his own game, ending Team Penske's championship streak. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove, presented by Tableau TV. Another Martinsville elimination weekend has came and went. Maybe for the final time. With the format likely to change next season, this might have been the final Martinsville cutoff race for the time being. And gosh, so many memorable moments in recent years. From Ross Chastain's Hail Melon to Ryan Blaney's clutch charge to the front to Kevin Harvick trying desperately to wreck Kyle Busch. Oh, the Chevy blockade, the Bell penalty. Okay, we've had a love-hate relationship with the Martinsville cutoff race, but for the time being, it may be the end of an era. I'm happy to report that this year, there was no playoff race manipulation. There was no funny business. This was, as cutoff races go, as Martinsville cutoff races go, one of the fairest, most straight-up events in recent memory. The two best cars racing each other, essentially one-on-one, long run, short run, battling straight up for the final championship spot. What more could you ask for? We've got so much to talk about here tonight. Let's start with that late race battle between the two dominant drivers of the day, William Byron and Ryan Blaney. For Ryan Blaney, it was a flat tire at Las Vegas, a floundering final run at Talladega that put him in a must-win position. For William Byron, it was one of the flukiest crashes in recent memory at Las Vegas, and a last lap spin at Talladega that put him deep in the hole. Team Penske versus Hendrick Motorsports, two drivers looking for their third consecutive championship for appearance, a past champion versus a two-time defending Daytona 500 winner, all of the makings of a true heavyweight bout, and it got physical in the final laps. Byron all over the back bumper of Blaney, gets a run, looks to the inside, Ryan Blaney comes down, tries to cover underneath the lap car of Ty Dillon, contact. The 12 was pointed at nearly a 45-degree angle. He was pointed damn near at the hot dog stand on the infield. Byron scoots through, and frankly, the 12 never got a chance to pay him back. Even after the hosts of our spin with 18 to go, pit cycle, restart with 11 to go, that 24 shot out of a cannon, the 12 never had a shot. I'm sure there will be some debate over that move. Was it fair? Was it too far? I thought it was fair. I think William Byron showed the nose like you do at Martinsville, attacked the corner aggressively, but Blaney also shallowed up his entry, was trying to cover. He also didn't want to get boxed in behind the lap car of Ty Dillon, so he himself was being aggressive. Ryan Blaney, I thought very maturely, very professionally admitted after the race that he would have done the same thing in Byron's position. Hard racing, up to the edge, but nothing that crossed over into dirty territory, if you ask me. Just two drivers desperate for a victory, desperate for a championship 4 spot, pushing it to the limits. William Byron today ran a perfect race. Perfect weekend for William Byron when you think about it. He ran 501 near perfect laps if you include his pole run in qualifying. Started on pole, that was a huge statement right there from the get-go. Led almost the first 260 laps of this race, swept the first 2 stages, and then Rudy Fugle took a risk, a questionable risk, you might say. Late in stage 2, there was a caution on the racetrack. William Byron was leading, had the option to pit, flip the stage, essentially. He would have had maybe 10 laps on his tires, but he would have cycled back to the front to start stage 3. He opted to stay out, got the stage win, got the stage points, while Blaney, Logano, several playoff drivers, and others did flip the stage. So suddenly at the start of stage 3, William Byron's restarting 7th. Suddenly Willie B, who's been in clean air, dominating the day, is stuck in traffic, has lost that valuable track position. And for a while, I wasn't sure he was ever going to get it back. Ryan Blaney, who started this race 31st, struggled in qualifying, the exact opposite of William Byron, methodically worked his way forward, got stage points in stage 1, finished 7th actually, kept sneaking his way closer and closer to the front. He did flip the stage, got out front, and looked damn near untouchable. Long run Ryan Blaney is a thing. Long run Ryan Blaney at Martinsville Speedway in the fall is very much a thing. Blaney entered this race as the two-time Fall Martinsville race defending winner. Last season, it was an 80-lap green flag run where he drove from 10th to 1st. Long run Ryan Blaney took over one season ago. William Byron has seen long run Ryan Blaney up close. Remember Darlington this past spring? Byron dominated, but it was Blaney in that Dave Blaney throwback that drove up and took the lead late. Long run Ryan Blaney is a real thing, but today, long run Ryan was bested by Big Bill Byron. When Byron muscled his way past Blaney, he'd been closing in on him for quite some time. That was a fairly long run. Obviously, the race ended with a restart, a short run, which was also apparently Byron's strength. But to see that 24 car keep the 12 in check when they raced their way through traffic, to charge, pounce when the moment presented itself, I was really, really impressed. Again, a near perfect weekend for William Byron. He even earned the Xfinity fastest lap, max points. William Byron essentially had to win this race to advance to his third straight championship. He's done it. The ability to bounce back mentally after that crushing finish at Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, the disappointment of spinning from the top 5 on the last lap at Talladega 1 week ago, back-to-back brutal ways to lose a race, to come back from that and beat Ryan Blaney at his own game. What a statement, what a performance, super impressive from William Byron. I said it earlier this week, folks are overlooking William Byron just a little bit, myself included, because while I did give Byron his credit, I picked Ryan Blaney to win this race. So even I slightly overlooked William Byron. He made me and many others look like fools today. Congratulations to William Byron, Rudy Fugle, Hendrick Motorsports. 10 years ago, Jeff Gordon got his final win at Martinsville in the number 24 car. Today, William Byron gets that 24 back into the championship for where it belongs once again. In some ways, William Byron's season now parallels Tyler Reddick's 2024 season. In both cases, Byron and Reddick were the regular season champions. You won a couple of races, more based on consistency than anything. But then once the playoffs started, it was rocky. Reddick last year struggled to get consistent finishes. Byron, while they've had speed in recent weeks, again, finishing has been a problem. Last year, Tyler Reddick swooped in to win that Homestead race in the round of 8, get to the championship. For this time, William Byron really can't say he swooped in. He dominated today, but Byron wins his way into the championship for. So back-to-back years now, the regular season champion makes it to Phoenix. Huge moment for William Byron. Before we talk about all the other playoff drivers, let's take a quick look at our top finishers from today's race. William Byron led 304 laps today. Ryan Blaney, who finished second, led 177. No one else in the field was remotely close. Chase Elliott, great restart at the end to finish third. There was a caution in the final stage of today's race that interrupted a cycle of green flag pit stops. Blaney and Byron, who were up front when the cycle started, as well as a few other lucky drivers like Ross Chastain, Todd Gilliland, Josh Berry, I believe, maybe Ryan Preece, a few drivers had not yet pit. And so we're on the lead lap. We're able to cycle to the lead after the caution flag period ended. That caution, which was for Eric Jones, just spinning out on cold tires, yikes, pinned Chase Elliott and other playoff drivers, other contenders, a lap down. They got the wave around, sure, but it still cost them valuable track position late in this race that took them a long time to recover. It took Chase Elliott literally up until the final restart to get back into the third, fourth place range where he'd been running before. That caution, when it fell, essentially took Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, and others out of any sort of contention for the race win. Sure, Chase was close on the final restart, but that was the closest anyone really got. Rest of the top finishers here, it's not to take too much away from Ross Chastain. Yes, he battled to stay on the lead lap at times today, but he had a decent run going. He gets a fourth place run. Larson fifth. Ryan Preece was my dark horse pick coming into the weekend. He comes home sixth, was seventh here in the spring. Really good here at Martinsville. Christopher Bell seventh. Joey Logano eighth. Ninth for Todd Gilliland. Again, took advantage of that caution, but he legit had top 10 speed before that caution, here in points in both stages. Front Row Motorsports, couple of good races in a row for those cars. Josh Berry 10th. Want to mention Shane Van Gisbergen 14th. It feels like every week now he's in the top 15 on ovals. Something worth noting as we flip the calendar to 2026. But there's a look at the top finishers. Now let's see who our championship four are. Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe won races at Las Vegas and Talladega respectively to clinch. Both battled engine issues today. More on that in a moment. William Byron wins his way in, and Kyle Larson, top 5 for Larson, his third top 5 in 4 weeks. He gets the final spot on points over Christopher Bell. Second year in a row, Bell misses the championship 4 by that much. Yeah, this one I did call correctly. Christopher Bell has been pretty good at short flat tracks this year. He won at North Wilkesboro. He won at Phoenix way back in the spring. But more recently, with this Aero tire combination, New Hampshire, he was just okay, not his typical dominant self. And at Martinsville, historically, Bell has been far more inconsistent than his playoff contemporaries. That showed up today. Christopher Bell was a solid top 10 car, top 10 driver, but he needed to be top 5 to compete with Kyle Larson. They were essentially battling head-to-head, most points advances for that final playoff spot, and Larson earned more stage points, rarely left the top 5, and Bell had a difficult time breaking in there. Even at the end, Adam Stevens, to his credit, took 4 tires, made an extra pit stop with roughly 100 laps to go, and just had a hard time going forward. Joey Logano also pitted with about 100 laps to go for 4 tires, and it took them forever to get back in the top 10 even. A worthy gamble by both the 20 and the 22 team. It just didn't pan out because they just weren't fast enough. That's the honest truth. But brutal for Christopher Bell. Over the past couple of years, statistically, Bell has been the standout Joe Gibbs Racing performer more times than not. But not this year. Denny Hamlin discovered the fountain of youth or something. Chris Gale come in, new crew chief, doesn't matter. The 11 looks as good as ever. And this new guy in the 19, 3 wins on the year, championship 4, his first season in a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Chase Briscoe is a title contender. Suddenly Christopher Bell is the third wheel. Or at least that may be how he feels now. It's the Squidward meme looking out the window at SpongeBob and Patrick, in this case the 11 and the 19, going for a championship at Phoenix. Man, 2 years in a row. Bell he's right there. And I feel like this is what we've said about Christopher Bell, Adam Stevens, and that 20 for years. They are this close to breaking out. Christopher Bell has the look, the feel, the talent of a future superstar, a champion, one day a Hall of Famer, wins some big races. Start of this year, he wins 3 races in a row. Looked like this was his moment. This is the Bell breakout. And then it just didn't happen. He did win the All-Star race. He did win a playoff race a few weeks back, but just situational, didn't get it done in the round of 8 for the second straight year. I mean, you got to win to ensure a spot in the championship 4. Christopher Bell did win in 2022 and 2023, if I recall, in the round of 8, made it to the championship 4 both years, but the last 2 seasons, he didn't win. Remember last year, he was so disappointed when he came up just short at Las Vegas. He was disappointed again this year, coming up short at Las Vegas. This is why. The 2 years he didn't win, still got some really good finishes. I think he got 3 top 10s in this round. Wasn't quite enough to make the championship 4. Late in the season, final 3 races, you gotta win. Christopher Bell has unfortunately not done that the past 2 seasons. So brutal way to go out 2 years in a row. I mentioned Joey Logano. It's crazy to me this year how far off the 22 was compared to the 12. Ryan Blaney, you take out those 7 DNFs, they would have won the regular season championship easily. Blaney had speed just about everywhere, especially the short flat tracks. Won New Hampshire a few weeks back, almost won today. And in those races, Logano's in the picture, but he was never quite to Blaney's level this year. And that just surprises me because Joey Logano's great. Say what you will about his 3 championships. You can discredit them all you want. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's an incredible talent. There was a reason they used to call him the greatest thing since sliced bread. He is a very talented race car driver. Paul Wolfe has won championships with 2 drivers. Very talented, experienced crew chief. That's a great unit over there. That got outclassed by the 12 most of the season. That imbalance was one of the most perplexing storylines of the 2025 season. Good race today for Joey Logano, but he too needed to win, didn't quite get there. Chase Elliott, we talked about him briefly, was in the picture. Coming into this race, he had led more laps at Martinsville in the next-gen car than just about anyone. It was Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin 1-2. Hamlin fell out due to engine trouble. Chase Elliott was in the top 5 all night, but just never had the speed to match the 24 or the 12 once the 12 finally got to the front. So Bell, Blaney, Elliott, and Logano have been eliminated. Team Penske shut out of the championship for the first time in the next-gen era. Joe Gibbs Racing, who was shut out of the championship for last year, will do battle with Hendrick Motorsports 2-on-2 Phoenix Raceway next Sunday. I hope I didn't gloss over Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has had a really strong 6 weeks or so. His last few finishes, he was 7th, 6th, 2nd, was leading at Talladega when he ran out of fuel on the last lap, finished like 20th, and then finishes 5th today. Kyle Larson may not have won a race since Kansas in the spring, but he's a top 5 machine right now. Don't discount Larson. He may be the one championship 4 guy who didn't win his way in, but that could all change next Sunday. Don't count Larson out. Don't sleep on the 5. They're the only one in this group that's won a championship together, so keep an eye on them. As far as the rest of this bunch, William Byron will be a factor, no doubt. They've been to the championship for 2 years in a row. This is year 3. Byron and Rudy Fugle have known each other for years, worked together for years. They understand the pressure. They understand what's expected of them. The Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas are interesting because Christopher Bell won the spring race. A lot has changed since then. The tire will be completely different. The weather could be completely different. But Denny Hamlin was really good in that race, finished 2nd. Chase Briscoe, granted it was with Stewart-Haas Racing, got his first Cup Series win at Phoenix 3 years ago. So Hamlin and Briscoe, they might look like the favorites at first glance, but there could be cause for concern with all of these technical troubles they've run into in recent weeks. This is like the 3rd or 4th race in a row Denny Hamlin has battled some sort of mechanical issue, with the exception being Las Vegas. Las Vegas, if I recall, was pretty clean. He won that race. But every other race, engine failure today. Remember the power steering failure at the end of the race at Kansas. A week or 2 ago, it was like a starter issue. I think he had a clutch issue. Today, I think Riley Herbst had an electrical issue. That engine comes out of the TRD shop. That car, data from Joe Gibbs Racing. Chase Briscoe had an engine failure. Maybe they were trying something. Maybe this was a Toyota experiment to get ready for Phoenix. Similar aero and tire combo. Maybe this was just a trial gone bad, but past few weeks, absolutely cause for concern if you're a Joe Gibbs Racing fan. If you're the driver, if you're Denny, if you're Briscoe, you can't be concerned. You can't control that stuff. You go out there, prepare as usual, do your job, go fast. You can't go into the race with that looming in the back of your head. You need to do what you do, control what you can control. Let the engineers worry about all that stuff. Hopefully they're on the top of their game this week at the shop, and TRD is fully prepared to take on Hendrick Motorsports at Phoenix Raceway. Anyway, Championship 4 has been set. If you want my championship pick, since my previous pick, Ryan Blaney, has been knocked out, you'll have to come back later this week. I got to take some time to study. A few more notables from today's race. Did I mention Josh Berry earlier? He finished 10th. He got spun out like twice. Not his fault. One of the incidents cost him a shot at the free pass. So for Berry to come back and finish 10th, overcome all of those issues, pretty impressive. Oh, and the future of Spire Motorsports is chaotic. Daniel Suarez announced this week he's going to Spire next year. He'll drive the 7. Suarez and the current driver of the Spire 77, Carson Hocevar, got into it multiple times today. Traded blows, retaliations, mishaps, call it what you'd like. Carson Hocevar today was the ball more than he was the bat, perhaps, but goodness gracious, felt like half the field took out year-long frustrations on driver number 77. He was in the midst of several notable incidents, including one late in this race. Shoot, Michael McDowell got a shot in on the 77. Just crazy. I'm telling y'all, man, if NASCAR needs a new reality show idea, just put cameras all in and around Spire Motorsports next season. I want to see what those Hocevar, Suarez, McDowell driver meetings look like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Can I also just take a moment to express my sense of relief that we aren't talking about race manipulation, artificially altering the results to benefit a manufacturer or a teammate? Can we just all take a step back and exhale, breathe? No funny business, no shenanigans to mar this year's Martinsville cutoff race. What a breath of fresh fall air. William Byron and Ryan Blaney were the dominant drivers today. They deserved to battle each other one-on-one for a championship 4 spot, and that is the exact show that fans at the track and watching at home on TV were treated to. And I think the best guy won. I think William Byron, that 24, they were the best today, and they got to victory lane. They get the transfer spot, and we don't have some senseless controversy to cloud this moment. Finally. Took how many years? Goodness. And I think that will have an impact on my Groovy Gauge score. The Groovy Gauge is powered by Electric E-Bikes. Head to electricebikes.com. I thought today's Xfinity 500, confusingly named, was a really, really good race. All-time great? Probably not, but very, very good. This is the kind of playoff race you want to see. The 6 remaining drivers with something truly to race for all showed up. There were times today where they were the top 6 drivers on the running order. They were all in the top 10 all day, pretty much. I mentioned Byron, Blaney, below the cut line, needed to win. They led almost all the laps. Ford, Chevy, different teams. They brought their best stuff. They performed in a high pressure moment. It was great. It was great drama, great sport, great television. It was a good race in general, I think, even without the playoff picture lurking in the background. I thought this was a very, very good Martinsville short track race. Give me an 82% on the Groovy Gauge. One of the better Martinsville races in the next gen era. I think Goodyear deserves so much credit for continuing to be aggressive with the tire compound, softer and softer. Left sides were different. They've tested them at a few other similar type tracks this year. Put on a great show once again today at Martinsville, combined with the slightly cooler temperatures. You saw comers and goers. Tires played a role. When Michael McDowell, who was like a 12th place car, took 2, he dropped like a rock. Tires mattered. Tire conservation mattered. Drivers had more levers they could pull, more opportunities to show their skill, to control their race. It's what you want to see at short tracks. It's what you want to see late in the season, especially when every point is scrutinized that much more. Very, very good race today. 82 for me. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. Great weekend of racing overall. Drama Friday and Saturday night. Saturday night, Jed Burton versus Sam Mayer. We'll talk about that and more tomorrow, likely during our Xfinity Series Race Rewind segment. But that's going to do it for me here tonight. Sunday night, Instant Cup Series race reaction and review. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more NASCAR discussion every single day, all year long, even post-Phoenix. This offseason is sure to be a busy one. You won't want to miss a thing. Really appreciate my Patreon supporters for going the extra mile. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your weekend, a great start to the week, championship week. Take care, y'all.